Stop, drop, and talk. We've got no time for bullshit. Stop, drop, and talk. With Ava, RJ, and B-Rock. It's Stop. Stop, drop, and talk.
There's nothing to say.
Yes! Welcome, Stop, Drop, and Talkers, to your favorite show in the whole world. It's Stop, Drop, and Talk, and we are back again for another fantastic, fun-filled week. I'm RJ Hale, and welcome to
Stop, drop, and talk.
And with me, as always, is the beautiful, amazing, incredible Eva Steele.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Stop, Drop, and Talk. I was just practicing my retro radio voice.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Retro
Very
podcast
nice.
voice. Yes, thank you for joining us.
Yes, you sound very posh.
And of course,
the stock exchange.
yes, the stock exchange.
Oh,
Give me a
yes,
cigar.
Yes, the deficit has tripled.
Now we're just getting like old school New York gangster.
kicked
Before
it
we
off
go
for
any
him.
further, though, we cannot go any further without introducing, last but not least, B-Rock.
What's going on, guys? I don't have an interesting voice for you. I'm sorry. You guys pretty much nailed it. So
You can't do your best, like, old gangster voice, like,
I
man,
could-
see? Yeah.
I mean, I can do like a grandma voice. I don't know, but that's about it. How's the pudding? I mean, that's my grandma
We'll
voice. right
take
there.
it. All right. How about that? There we go. Let's give you some of this. There we go.
Very interesting show start.
So for a future episode, watch for it's going to be completely dedicated to impressions.
Oh, yes.
No guest, just impressions.
And that will be the death of this show.
Yes, it will. I'm not ready yet. We'll wait till we're tired of doing it, then we'll do that episode.
I'm about 2 weeks through impression college, so, I'm getting there.
Unless we have Jim Carrey on to do the impressions, then I'm in. Otherwise, I'm out.
Did you see the one where he did like the impression of himself from when he
No,
like turned 60? It was like from like a late night talk show like a long time ago, and he
Oh
was
my
like doing
gosh.
impressions of himself of what he'd be like when he was 60, and then he like turned 60 and then like did the impression like on his TikTok.
Yeah, I did see that. Okay, yeah, I saw that. Like,
so funny.
oh,
It's so
geez.
funny.
Basically, him channeling his inner. Who did he play? He played what's his name? Not Alex Trebek, Ed McMahon or something on SNL. And he does an impression of Ed McMahon doing an impression of Jim Carrey, and he's like, "Hi,
Oh my
I'm Jim
gosh.
Carrey. I'm hilarious. I need attention 24 hours a day. Look at me. Look
So
at me."
this impression that he did
yeah.
of himself was basically the same as like the courtroom scene from like Liar Liar.
Oh,
It had
okay.
those kind
Yeah.
of vibes.
All right. Well, you stop, dropping talkers out there. If you've seen it, fill us in. Let us know.
Or
what
if
you think.
anybody has Jim Carrey's contact info and wants to throw it our way,
Send it on over. We'll take it.
never know who's listening. So it is usually a lot of fun and games around here, a lot of craziness, a lot of jokes. And but we like to focus on some of the more serious stuff, but we're not going to get dark serious today. This is good serious. You're going to learn a thing or two, not just from us, but from our guest. We have somebody very, very special coming up here. I cannot wait to introduce.
You'll laugh, you'll cry.
Yes.
It'll move you.
Yes. This is going to be absolutely amazing.
We're excited.
He has grown up being bullied for a lot of different reasons. He's been through a lot of different things in his life that are complicated, and we're going to let him kind of tell that. Now, before we bring him on, we want to show clips, but our guest coming up is Peter Dankelson. Now, here's a couple clips of him.
Yes.
The dude rocks.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's so amazing. So we're going to
Wow.
jump into this here, but I think he's at the door.
All right. Well, then I think it's time for him to hop on in, Peter. There he is. It's
Peter, what's going
Hey!
on?
Hey,
Thank
You're
you for
muted.
joining us right here on Stop, Drop, and Talk.
hey, thanks for having me.
Yes, so exciting to have you on the show. We have so much to talk about. Crazy tons of followers I'm seeing on TikTok.
Yeah.
What are you up to now? Why don't you tell everybody what your TikTok followers are up to?
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole TikTok thing. I think we're almost at 400K. We're like it's like teetering at almost 400K. So it's exciting. It's really cool.
You are indeed teetering. You are in the upper 390s here. So you're doing
viral.
you're killing it over on TikTok, which
That's
is great
amazing.
because so many people use social media for a lot of the wrong reasons, for a lot of like the wrong attention seeking reasons. But you're on social media to more kind of get some awareness out about a bunch of different things and to talk about what you're up to. So tell us a little bit about your story here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the whole thing kind of started. I was born with a rare. Like, where do you want to begin? Music, medical.
Let's start from the beginning, how you got to this point here. So let's start all the way back at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're being born.
Yeah.
You're coming into the world.
Okay.
Maybe not that far back.
So, on October 7th, 2000, I entered the world.
The world changed.
Yeah. But I was born with a rare medical condition called Goldenhurst syndrome. So basically, on the outside, I'm missing the left ear. And, lots of internal stuff too. Like on outside, I had a small jaw, which kind of obstructed my airway for quite a while. So you should see a little bit of a scar here, but I had a trach for 19 years, on open,
Oh, wow.
an open stoma. Yeah. And, I think I said missing the left ear. So I have a bone anchored hearing aid, and that's been great because I can hear it stereo and everything.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. And then lots of like internal stuff too. Like I have they call it a single pelvic kidney, so it's like one in the front instead of two in the back. Lots of issues with the spine and vertebrae. It's like some issues with the heart, and 36 surgeries in 21 years. So yeah, quite a bit of stuff.
And these weren't like minor surgeries. These were all pretty major surgeries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of them are pretty.
I have to hand it to the medical team that you had, because I'm seeing the before and after picture, and it is pretty drastic. They did a great job.
Yeah, it's really crazy, especially with I had a huge jaw surgery in the summer of 2017, and that was really intense because I remember being in the gurney before I go into pre-op, and just kind of looking in the phone, looking in the camera, going, how is this all going to change?
Yeah, how was the recovery?
Well, one of these surgeries for your trachea or your throat, you kind of had a big decision on deciding that one, didn't you?
Yes, yeah, that was a big one. Well, because so basically in my high school years, I had two huge surgeries. The jaw surgery in the summer of 2017, that was kind of interesting because that one I've been told for my whole life up until that point that I was going to have this procedure. So it almost felt like a big boss battle in a video game. It's like it had always been out there for my whole life. The airway surgery, because with the jaw surgery, they moved the lower jaw forward to make the airway bigger.
Wow.
So basically the whole goal of the jaw surgery was to make the airway bigger. So now that the jaw surgery was done, it was like, okay, now we can focus on the airway, getting the open stoma closed, because that was kind of always the big goal. But, I kind of figured, okay, it's just a hole in the neck. You could just stitch it up. And, I'm just thinking, okay, this shouldn't be too bad. You just stitch it up and, maybe spend a night and then go home and, come back, in like a week to check it up. Turns out that wasn't the case.
Oh, no.
It took a little bit longer, huh?
Yeah, because I remember going into the, the office to talk to the surgeon who was going to eventually do it. And it was just like this whole long list of actually we're going to have to, I forget what it was. They had to take cartilage. I forget. But, they had to take cartilage and graft it and all this stuff. And it was like you could possibly be in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and it was just like, what? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
That was kind of a surprise. Yeah.
So with these surgeries too.
Yeah.
You've got some hobbies that have kind of helped get you through them. One of the main ones being guitar. And we have a video that you love guitar so much that you're coming out of anesthesia
Yes.
playing some air guitar.
Yes.
Wow, that is incredible. It really shows it.
I wonder what song you were playing.
I was just thinking that. Like, do you remember what song was in your head when you woke up?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I actually remember waking up because it was AC/DC's Riff Raff that was playing.
Nice.
And I just, I remember just, you're kind of like coming out of the anesthesia, but you could hear everything. It's just kind of like, oh yeah. And I just remember, you kind of come back into it, just remember, opening the eyes and just being like, oh. Being on a vent, not the greatest thing in the world, but when you have AC/DC blasting next to your head, makes it a bit more bearable.
Yeah, right. And it's so entrenched in you that you're playing along, like while you're coming out of anesthesia. That's just incredible.
Well, so you've had all these surgeries, and it doesn't hold you back. What age did you start playing guitar at?
I started playing 15, so it was it was like spring of 2016. So yeah.
Wow, so not that long ago. You got good pretty fast.
Yeah.
Well, and it sounds like, you kind of used the guitar kind of as a focus to get you through these surgeries. And from that same surgery that we have you doing the air guitar, we actually have more footage of you playing guitar in the hospital.
Let's do it.
Were you playing some Trapper?
Oh, yes, I was.
Play some pins and needles.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And it's so great to, have something to focus on, while you're recovering, because like you said, I watched the video on your website, and like you said, we're all dealing with a pandemic or have been dealing with a pandemic, but all these surgeries that you've been through, to quote you, it's like being through, a crazy amount of surgery or pandemics in 19 years, because it's like recovering and having to isolate and recover and over summer breaks and holidays. And
basically, almost every summer in high school, it was a surgery. Yeah.
So you're a pro at this pandemic thing here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't think anybody's prepared for that.
Well, but you put your focus into, you focused a lot on some positive things, not just on playing guitar, but you put a lot of focus into anti-bullying campaigns and writing a book.
Yeah.
So what's been the most rewarding thing for you that's come out of you touring these schools and doing these anti-bullying campaigns? Like, what's the best thing for you to come out of that?
Yeah. So, I mean, basically before COVID, I guess there's kind of a long story to it, but basically the whole, we started talking to schools when, the book Wonder came out, and it was about, Wonder was about a boy with a craniofacial or facial difference. Basically, the story talks about how he, went to, started school for the first time in middle school, and kind of, it talked about some of the medical stuff, but it really kind of talked about some of the social challenges of, that as well, and some of, those experiences that people like me, tend to go through with bullying and, some of those other kind of social aspects. So to me, when that book came out and I read it, it was really exciting because I felt like, I had somebody that I could really relate to. So that was really, really cool. And basically, we went out to California, and there was a school there. They're like, hey, since I was kind of, basically a real life version of the main character in the book, it was like, could you come in and talk to, the kids about, your experiences? And Augie's the main character in the book. Could you kind of, maybe talk about your life a little bit? Just kind of, I guess, bringing the story to life a bit. And so we did that, and that was really exciting. It was really cool. And then when we went back home, basically just word of mouth started getting around about the assembly that we'd done in California, and it just kind of took off from there. And it was really exciting. And over time, it's kind of evolved into a bunch of different stuff. I mean, basically, you know, we were doing almost every summer, like the past 5 years until basically, you know, after 2020, we went out to California, and we spent like a week there and did like a dozen schools. So it was almost like, you know, like a little tour. So it was
Nice.
yeah.
That's
so it was like
amazing.
all the middle schools, and it was great because you
You're
know
on the road, man.
yeah, a little bit different, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And just so people, you know, kind of get a feel of what it's like. Of course, we've got some footage of this.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me. And at one point, all I remember the play structures, and he came up to me and said, everything about you is weird. The way you talk, the way you look, you're always funny. And I think he said a whole bunch of really neat purple stuff. And then I referred to that in awkwardly. And then, but later, I didn't exactly choose time. I got kind of mad. Then I went up to him on the street and said, you know what? Very good.
Seems great, and they're so understanding. Bye, guys. Have a good day.
Look at you signing autographs. You're a rock star, man.
A
lot of engagement.
Rock star.
It was so much fun. And then with the presentations, and then when I picked up the guitar and started playing, basically, you know, once I, you know, started to figure the guitar out, we started to bring that into the schools, and I would play for the kids as they'd be coming in and leaving. And that was so much fun. They seemed to get a big kick out of it. So that
Man,
was
from my perspective, you are a true rock star because you're taking something that is, you know, some could view as a hindrance in life, and you're turning it into your superpower. And you're using that to spread your message. And that's such a powerful thing. Like, I don't think you even realize how much of an impact that you're really having on all these people that get to hear your story and get to meet you.
I mean, to me, I think just kind of with sharing my story, I mean, the biggest thing is I hope, you know, I mean, I guess the big thing is that I hope, you know, I can help someone. And also just, you know, especially on social media, kind of picking people up and just having fun, you know, which to me has always been kind of, you know, it goes hand in hand with rock and roll.
We talk a lot about that. The power of creating is such a great way to get through anything that you're going through.
Yep.
You know, it's so crazy, you know, with everything that you've been through, you have been able to just maintain such a positive spirit, not just a positive attitude, because I feel like a lot of times people have to fake their attitude, but it, like, you really exude like a positive spirit. Yeah, RJ.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm just kidding.
Just kidding.
But, you know, it's so cool to see too, because, you know, I mean, obviously, as you know, on, you know, in person, you know, kids can be so cruel, like in schools. And so the anti-bullying is really amazing. And also
online.
Online, the social media,
adults online.
It's worse online.
I call them the
Even
keyboard
worse.
warriors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
right. Yeah.
a lot of times the people saying these things on your social media would never say them to your face. And if they did, like, what kind of a person is that? Like, that is like, I'm sad for somebody like them, but you handle it so well, like on social media. And of course, Dan is just fully prepared. He's got all these clips, man.
Yeah. Here we go.
Can we just
Wow,
talk about something for a
nice.
second here? Can we just talk about one thing? Half the people on there saying these horrifically ugly things need a lesson in grammar.
Yes.
No kidding.
I was like trying to read those, and I was like, I am getting dumber trying to read these. And, you know, people that speak like that to other people, whether it be to your face or through a keyboard or whatever, that screams insecurity on their end. And It is like you're kicking so much ass on that guitar. Like I'd be like jealous. I'm like, obviously they're jealous that you're doing so many amazing things and they're sitting at home. I'm gonna get really mean here, but I'm gonna do it because this is the type of people that
Go for it, Eva.
It's the type of people that are saying these things while you're out here kicking ass and you're doing these anti-bullying tours and you're killing it on the guitar and everything else that you're doing. The people that are saying these things are the ones that are sitting in their mom's basement at 40 years old with Cheeto dust on their fingers, typing away. You know what I mean? With no, like they need to
no. They say that online rage is a lot like road rage because like when you're in your car and you got your windshield protecting you from the outside world, you can really let your inner a-hole fly. And it's kind of the same thing online. You can kind of be anonymous and just kind of be an anonymous a-hole. But I think it's I see this a lot on TikTok. And this is what I love about TikTok is that so many videos are like this, where they take these cruel words and then they flash it up on the screen just like you did. And instantly proving them all wrong and basically just using their words against them and saying like, no, actually, we all agree you're the problem. When you say that to them.
I would be so embarrassed if I ever said something horrible to somebody and my comment got posted. I would be horrified.
Right.
Well, it would make you think twice.
Say anything like that to begin with. But
it's funny
parents didn't teach them well.
Yeah, because I noticed a lot of times on TikTok, if I do see a video that someone posts, or like if they share it and you see someone's responding to a nasty comment or something like that, basically almost 10 times out of 10, if you click on the comment to go read it, the person deleted it. They didn't back themselves up.
If anything, it just shows the world that like, hey, if anything, it just makes you think about what you say online. Because I know that the virtual world is not the real world, but those words can have an impact and it can really, really affect a lot of people. So I think it's so important for you to relay that message. Like, hey, like, don't be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
well,
just
and
an asshole.
Peter too, I saw, you're proud to be different, and as you should, and you've got a comedic side to it as well. I laughed so hard when you took off a piece of your hearing aid and you put an Altoid can on there. I mean, it was, and you were asking your mother if you could stick to the refrigerator. I mean, you are very comical with it's okay, and you're proud to be different, and I love that.
Yeah, you got to have a little fun. So, like, here, actually, I have something right here. So, basically, the way that the bone anchored hearing aid works, basically, that was a surgery. They had to put a magnet, under the skin.
Right.
The sound processor, it sticks, on and off this way. So basically, it's funny. One night I started thinking about, so basically I have a magnet inside of my head. So basically it went through my head. I'm like, wait a second, can I stick to the refrigerator? Like, I tried it, so it turns out it didn't work.
It's not dangerous near the microwave, is it, or anything?
I'm not trying that. I wouldn't go that far.
But when you take it off, do you then only hear in mono then, like only on your right side? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, once this is gone, it's just all on this side. But
it's incredible what we can do.
I know, it's a lot of fun. It's like Mr. Potato Head,
That's right, exactly.
But like basically in school, I love doing this on Halloween. You take like an eyeball magnet, right? And, if you just line it up just right, it sticks. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's no tape or anything here. It's all magnetic. Yeah. And then I do actually have a can of Altoids sitting up there.
Oh, we got to see it, don't we?
Yeah. So
Dude, here we go.
There's no tape or anything here.
Hey!
Oh my God!
Wow!
That's
It's even better. It's sideways.
If you do a shaker on a recording or something, you could just Yeah.
Oh yeah! Look, you can play percussion while you're playing guitar.
Exactly. Yeah, just mic that up and you're good to go.
A man of many talents. Let me tell you.
You know what
I'm headbanging.
You know what I'm curious about though? Have you always had no hearing in your left side then? Since before that? So, well, you play guitar before you had the surgery, right?
Actually, it would have been like only a month or two.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if that really helped I'm sure it helped a lot with your ability to learn guitar, having stereo.
Yeah, well, you know what's really funny about stereo? So basically, I can't experience it. So like, this is a great example. So like Van Halen one, Eddie recorded all of his stuff, I think, on the left side. So I put on headphones and I feel like right channel, right, and I'm listening to Running with the Devil. When the album kicks off, you just hear bum bum bum, and it just keeps going. It's like where did Eddie go?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny. I just remember hearing that for the first time, and it's just the bass going. I'm like, wait a second, you can hear like a bit of the reverb.
I didn't even think about that.
Yes, but I found out there's a if you go to your settings in your phone, there's something called mono audio. If you turn that, it throws everything into both channels. So I'm like, oh well, that's great.
Thank you, Apple.
I know. Yeah, that was a great feature. Yeah, because I'm like, what do I do about this? And a friend pointed that out to me, and I'm like, oh sweet. And
so you were just talking about Van Halen here.
Yeah.
What I want to know, okay, back to the whole guitar thing.
Yep.
You just picked up a guitar, you said, and I believe you told me 2016 was like the first time you really picked up a guitar, which is insane that you have gotten
amazing
this good in such a short amount of time. What is like, who are your biggest influences when it comes to that? Like, who inspired you the most to get going?
Well, for me, the cool thing was when I picked up a guitar, it's kind of like, okay, this is cool, but like, what do I want to do? Hearing AC/DC, hearing stuff like Back in Black and, Thunderstruck, and kind of like looking back, I'm like, hearing, you hear Thunderstruck in like so many commercials and stuff like that. It was always like, oh, that's cool. It gets you fired up for like, my brother plays hockey. So like, we'd be in the car and, driving to his hockey games and stuff. And, you have like, all sorts of stuff on but like all the songs, to get Jake fired up for his games and all that. It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, hearing Angus play, I'm like, that's cool. Like just the attitude and all that.
Angus is a good one.
It's like, that's what I want to do. That's so cool.
So
and you went to School of Rock also, right? You got to go to School of Rock and learn to jam and all that stuff?
Yeah, that was really cool. So like basically 2016, to the summer of 2017, basically that whole first year, I just kind of started like noodling around on my own. Like I go on YouTube and look up lessons. Like I take a look at some of the basic chords, learn power chords and stuff like that. And basically I'd find lessons for some of some of the songs that I wanted to learn how to play. But then a School of Rock opened up like 5 minutes from close to where we lived. And it was great because through School of Rock, it was after the jaw surgery too. So I was like, I was recovering from that, and that really kind of picked me up a lot. So that was great when that opened up.
I'm sure.
The whole School of Rock program was great because that was the first time I kind of went from just kind of playing at home to playing with others. What was it? Playing with a drummer and a bass player and a singer for the first time. Playing with a band. So that
cheer button enough. Oh, keep it going. Keep it going. Wow.
That was a fun. Yeah, I haven't seen that clip in a while.
Wow.
That was incredible.
Yeah, that was
amazing.
That moment in particular, that was so cool because that was one of the things that School of Rock would do every year is we basically, there's schools of rock all over the the country, right? Basically, we'd all get together in Milwaukee at Summerfest.
I played that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was amazing. Like it was like we played the rave one day. Like all the
I love the rave
and all that. It was.
The place is creepy, right?
It just had a bit of a creepy vibe. It's really
creepy. It's haunted.
Going.
There's ghosts.
Yeah.
There's ghosts.
It's haunted. The rave in Milwaukee. I know, right?
Oh yeah, that I've been there. They got a pool in the basement, right? They've got a Olympic-sized pool in the basement. Creepy.
Oh, next time you got to check it out. It's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So that clip that we saw, were you only playing for like a year at that point?
Yeah, that was about a year. Yeah.
What?
That's amazing.
What?
Incredible.
Maybe it was 2 years. I think it might have been 2 years.
You know what? I
Okay,
quit.
but even still,
I'm outta
that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
very. That's not a
I'm
long
done.
amount of time. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
RJ's
we're
quitting.
talking to Peter. We're talking to
quit.
Peter here, who plays in his sleep pretty much, right? Wakes up from surgeries and is still playing. So
Yeah.
So this School of Rock, is this where you were able to like meet your band members? Kind of
Yeah,
touch base.
Yeah, so basically, 18, graduated high school. It's kind of like I was out of.
Ah.
It's kind of like, okay, you graduated. It's time to start moving on. It's like, well, I don't know what to do for college and all that. And actually, I decided to just take a gap year because the whole airway surgery was, coming up, and I was like, well, let's just recover from that and just see what happens in the gap year. And basically, through School of Rock, I knew Ryan. He was the drum instructor there for quite a while, and we I forget, like I think it was
Oh, nice.
maybe during the pandemic or so, we started jamming. Like it was basically just kind of like, well, yeah, let's just start jamming. I have some ideas that I've recorded, and basically, really for like kind of like when the pandemic hit and all of that, it was just kind of like we started jamming, and into like 2021 and into the spring. It's kind of like, well, who's going to sing and play bass and all that? And then we found Mac, who I've known through School of Rock and played with for a long time. And he's great. He came over and we all jammed together and basically, started.
You guys do a lot of blues?
Yeah, it's kind of like blues rock kind of thing. Yeah. And actually, it's been great. So like the whole summer, it was just kind of like we started, we did a couple of gigs, but mostly it was like writing tunes, and really kind of in the fall really focused on writing, and then in November, yeah.
That was going to be one of my questions. Is that if you guys write your own stuff, like do you have original stuff?
Yeah, we actually recorded an EP in November, and we're going through the mixing phase right now. And I think
what?
with that, so yeah, so that's
We have
great.
footage of you recording.
Oh, let's see it, man.
It was great. It was my first time in the studio, so getting to experience, see what goes into, like building everything up with the drums and the live room, and then bass, and then doing all the guitars and stuff. It was a really fun experience.
All great experiences for you to have, for sure.
Yeah.
we actually have footage of them performing. It sounds like. So why don't we do that one?
All right. Great voice on your bass player, too.
Matt's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
I love how it's so random because you don't always get bass players as like lead vocalists, but like it's such a cool mix when you do.
Yeah.
Well, Matt's actually a really killer guitar player, but he was nice enough when we were, it was kind of like, okay, well, you'll do vocals. It's like, well, then Matt's like, okay, now we got to, keep searching and find a bass player. And I was like, would you mind playing bass? And Matt's like, well, I guess that would be great to roll as a power trio, try that format and see how it goes. He's a really killer guitar player, but he was really, really, nice and, picked up the bass. So that was really cool of him to do.
That's how a lot of bands get bass players. It's a buddy who plays guitar, like, well, we can't find a bass player, so you want to do it? And that's how it happens, usually.
Yeah. I've seen that story too. I'm like, oh, I guess that's kind of common.
So when can we expect this album drop?
Yeah, so it looks like the whole thing will be out, I think, at the end of May. I think that's what we're shooting for.
Right. Well, we have to keep an eye out. Everybody, keep an eye out. Where can they find it?
And also, not just this album that's coming out, but your book. Tell everybody where they can get your book.
Yeah, so basically the book is called How I Learned to Rock My Life. And basically it kind of talks about all those early, basically the whole point of the book was, people online know me, mostly for the guitar playing and all that, fun stuff. But I don't really know, like, the surgeries and the whole medical side. So the book was kind of a way to kind of tell that story, kind of talks about all the surgeries that I've had. And then, of course, it also goes into, music and, when I did pick up a guitar for the first time. and how that did help me through, a lot of those medical procedures in high school. And, that's on, you can pick it up on Amazon and the website, Pete's
All
Diary.
right.
as well.
Diary.com.
Amazing.
That's amazing. Yes, you can get that book, How I Learned to Rock My Life. Looks amazing. I would like to read it. I actually am on a kick this year. I am making myself read 2 books a month. I will add that to my list.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's so great. It looks like you and RJ here. I'm looking at these cameras here, and it looks like you and RJ have similar rooms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of, where all the magic happens. This is where I basically
Yours looks a bit more cheery than mine.
You guys are both in attics almost, it looks like.
Yes, with lots and lots of guitars. Now we've talked about your love for AC/DC and your band and all this stuff, but one of the coolest moments that we've seen for you is getting to play with Buck Cherry at Summerfest, which we do also
hell yeah!
have a clip of.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
I love those guys. I know
Blows
them
my
pretty
mind
well.
that
That's
you
great.
have not been playing for that long.
that was a lot of fun. That was
How
cool.
was that?
So
were
how
they
did that
cool?
come about?
So basically, through social media, I think it's their record label, Earache Records. They had the album Hellbound that came out over the summer, and basically this was before they had the first single out, and they were getting ready to release the title track, and they're like, "Hey, would you mind doing a cover of the song, and drop it when they release the single?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure," and really dug the tune, dropped it and all that, and it was like. Listen, it was like, yeah, if the guys are coming through, see if we can get you up on stage with them. And I was thinking, oh, yeah, okay. I didn't think that was actually going to happen.
That's
And then,
amazing.
when they were coming to Milwaukee to play Summerfest, Stevie D sent a message. He's like, hey, Pete, we'd love to have you up on stage with us and jammed, Hellbound. He's like, what do you say? And, I was like, I'll think about it. It was like, yeah. Yeah, I haven't gotten to play, on a stage like that or in front of that many people in forever. So to get to do that and kind of feel that energy again,
Yeah.
That's got to be a rush, man.
It felt so good.
It's
I'm really
addicting. It's the best drug you could ever feel, and you now have a taste of it. So I hope that you will continue, and I hope to see you headlining stages like that someday. Hell yeah!
That'd be amazing.
I love it. Yeah,
It's gonna happen.
Really yeah.
So not only have you gotten to play with Buck Cherry, I'm sure, and with your social media blowing up the way it is, are there tons of, I guess, quote unquote, famous people that are following you?
Yeah. A really exciting one, or one that I kind of, pinched myself, Zach Wild.
Wow, that's a big one.
Wow, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, I guess, on his Instagram and stuff, he's got, he's a riot.
Yeah, he is funny.
Yeah, but like he commented on a video and he's like, "You're killing it, Father Pete," and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, Father Pete!" I'm like, "That's so cool." That's really neat.
That is awesome. That's so
Man,
crazy.
I don't know. Now you're gonna have to deal with RJ Hale following you and bugging you, man. You're gonna have to have some
Oh yeah,
comebacks
there's
for
somebody
him.
we forgot to mention. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh Lord.
Foghorn.
He's actually been very mild with the soundboard this episode.
Honestly, watching you play, I'm just like, oh, what am I doing? Like, you're like, honestly, you make me want to up my game as a musician. You have inspired me just talking to you, your story, your journey, and how quickly you were able to pick up guitar is unheard of. And honestly, for someone your age, I'm just so happy to see people still being interested in playing guitar and playing AC/DC and Van Halen and Buck Cherry. I think that's great.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. I've been seeing a lot of, kind of people my age that have been really kind of, getting into the blues rock kind of, as well.
It's cool
really
again.
Yeah. It's fun to kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, Peter, I'm curious about this. You've done so much and you're so accomplished for your age. You got an album coming out in May. Do you have any big goal for 2022? Is it, to keep writing more, maybe to perform live with your band more? What would it be?
Yeah, the big thing is performing. Well, the big focus right now is, of course, the EP coming out. It's like, okay, once the mixing's done, figure out a fun way to promote it. And there's some fun things kind of in the works for that. So that's kind of the big thing right now. It's just kind of keep performing. We're getting local gigs going and stuff. So it's just kind of upping that game. And I think writing more, because right now it's interesting because, it's like after the studio, it was like, okay, we have all these songs recorded. And, it's kind of funny. We spent so long. We spent like a month, just for 5 originals and a cover we did. It was like we spent a month just went over the tunes over and over and over.
Yeah.
And get them really tight. Then went into the studio and recorded it. And then it's like once that was done, it's like, now what? We spent so long trying to put those together. And now we're trying to do like a really long show. And of course, there's lots of covers and stuff. And it's like, well, we want to keep doing more originals. So it's like I think everyone's kind of getting the itch to write again.
Well, with your online presence, that's only going to help you get a booking agent and get, and you'll be able to see what parts of the country your key demographics are, and you'll be able to start targeting shows in places where you have a lot of followers. And I think in the end, I can totally see that happening for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really just curious to see how it all plays out, see what people think. Yeah, and it's intimidating too because this is my first time really kind of diving into songwriting in general. So it's kind of like it's kind of that first step.
I'm so proud of you. That is the way you do it, though. You just have to start.
Yeah.
You just start by putting your ideas out there. Just let them all out. And even if honestly, Ed Sheeran, I'm sorry, I don't want to go into a whole thing, but really wise words from Ed Sheeran that I hold true to this day. Whatever you think about him as an artist, whatever, but like as a songwriter, I respect the fact that he told me that. Well, he didn't tell me. I'm sorry. He said on TV, not to. I feel like he was speaking to me, but he said to everyone about how when you first start writing, it's like it's the dirty tap analogy, where he's like the water that flows out of the tap is brown and it's dirty, but then eventually it starts to run clear. So those are all the necessary steps for you to get it to be a really strong songwriter, is to just get all those songs out of the way, and then eventually you'll write one where you're just like, oh my God, like this is something that I would listen to and that I think is really great, and that's what it takes to get there, just by doing it. So keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's kind of fun that you mentioned, coming up with stuff that you want to hear. Cause like there was one kind of thing in the morning, I record everything in voice memos. Like if I have, yeah. So
smart man.
I have a drum track on YouTube that, there's a lot of, crap that's on YouTube, but eventually you find a good drum track or something to kind of bounce an idea off of. And, there's just it was early in the morning. There was this one idea that I had. I just kind of out of nowhere, this one riff kind of came about. It was like, whoa, wait, what's that? And then, sent it over to Ryan, and he was like, he got something there. And eventually, we worked on it, and now it's on the EP. So, it's fun.
Yeah. It's also really great having a collaborator, like having someone else to bounce ideas off of really helps to kind of narrow the ideas down. And I don't know if you use like GarageBand or Logic. Do you have any kind of recording programs that you use, or?
I don't. I should. Should try that stuff out. But Ryan's actually like, he's good with that stuff. So like we do demos and stuff, and he'd have, I think it was Ableton. He'd have that.
Perfect.
Just kind of, up, and we just kind of do like rough demos and stuff. And
I'm just so proud of any musician that makes that leap into songwriting, and I encourage it for everybody. I think it's so therapeutic, and I think it can lead to great things. So good for you. Keep it up.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was basically the whole winter. Like, I just kind of had like ideas and stuff, and Ryan would come over, and he had like an octopad thing. So it was just like we just kind of sit around, and we just kind of put ideas together.
Honestly, it's great to have somebody who has a kind of like can take on the role of the analytical producer type character in that scenario, so you can just be fully focused on being free and creative. You don't have to think about the recording and the sounds and the tones and the EQ and the compression and all that. Let someone else deal with all that, and then you just come up with the magic. Like that's I think the perfect collaboration to have with another artist, someone that thinks that way.
Yeah, and it was great because then we got Mac involved with the band. We had all these demos, and he kind of picked some stuff out. He's like, "Well, what if we did this and move some stuff around?" And it was And then he came up with lyrics and stuff. And
sounds like you got a like an all-star creative team in your band. So I see nothing but great things in your future, bud.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, on that note, we're not going to let you go quite yet because it is time for a little segment we like to call.
Can I play the song?
You can play the song.
It's called Stop, Drop, Shenanigans! Stop, drop, shenanigans! Stop, drop, shenanigans! You'll never get me gold! You might get me gold this time. I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody. We have to play the song.
We have to play the song. It's the rule. So what we're going to do here.
That is, by the way, just songwriter to songwriter, that is the dumbest song I've ever written in my entire life.
I don't know about that. I'm just kidding.
That's it. That is the worst, I think.
I can think of one that's worse.
Yeah, we won't. Yeah.
Okay.
Say that for another day.
This game, it's we're going to play a sample of a song, and you have to tell us who the guitar player is for the song.
Okay.
No samples. We don't want to get taken down with music clearance. Just name the song name. Name the song name.
Oh, we're just doing the song name.
I have to jump in and correct. No, we're not playing the song
name. Okay.
By the way, Dan Catullo, everybody.
Our producer.
Oh, come on.
So, you know what? That makes sense. I totally misunderstood the game because we had Sully Erna of Godsmack on, and our entire episode got pulled when we were live because we played a clip that he owned, I believe.
Yeah.
And we got in trouble.
Yeah, they'll flag you pretty quick. They're good.
Oh yeah, I've had that problem on social media. Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the song title, and you're gonna tell me who played guitar in the song.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
I think so.
All right. Rough Boys. Are you Googling?
RJ is.
No cheating.
All right, hang on. I think I got a guess. Sound of Silence. Disturbed.
No.
Oh no.
Rough Boys was Pete Townsend.
Oh no! I couldn't hear anything. There was no sound. I didn't know.
No, we can't do. Okay, so we
yeah.
can't do. He just told us we can't do audio clip because the record labels will rip it down.
Okay, hang on.
Rip the episode down.
That one doesn't count.
That one doesn't count. However,
that was the practice one.
He had a quick recovery. Did you? He was like Sound of Silence.
That is good. I didn't catch that till now.
My bad. Okay, let's try.
Okay, so all I'm gonna do is just give you the song title, and you're gonna tell me who played guitar on the song.
Okay. My bad.
We'll just edit that out. Okay.
Yeah, we'll edit that out. This isn't live.
Edit that out.
Okay. Who played in Hey Joe? Hey Joe.
Jimi Hendrix.
That's right.
I didn't even know that one.
There we go.
Which Dan kind of spoiled earlier in the show.
Throws up the picture. I saw that.
All right.
Holy Cats Media if it was all smooth.
It's like herding cats. That's what the show is.
It is herding cats. That's what this show is. Yeah.
Okay. The next song is called The Thrill Is Gone.
B.B. King.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. One of my favorites here. Who played Black Magic Woman?
Santana.
Oh, jeez.
All right,
Thanks
I'm
to
going to
Guitar
give you.
Hero. We all know that.
I'm going to give you a couple more here. Who played Pride and Joy?
So hard.
Rayvon.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah,
All right.
that was a tough one.
Now this is a really tough one. I just think of this is of all. Peter's not going to get this one. Who played Hell's Bells?
He's thinking.
Hang on.
Give him extra time.
Who's that band from Australia? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, we were asked. No, he's right.
It's Angus Young. Okay, and
We were looking for Airborne. Just kidding.
Yeah,
Sorry. I love Airborne. Love you guys.
I like those. Yeah, I like those guys too.
I love them. They're great.
They're great. Yeah.
okay, we got another one here.
Sorry.
I'm going to give you two more. All right, who played Summer Song?
RJ's getting violent with this face.
He's waiting for RJ to quit with the drum.
Oh, you're waiting for me. Okay. Well, what is it?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
It's. Do you know?
I actually don't.
It's Joe Satriani.
Oh,
Ooh, that's a tougher one.
that was a
tougher
hard one. That was really
That's
hard.
tricky. I love like Satch Boogie. I hear that one on the radio.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time. Listening to that at home. That's just that. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got one last one here.
One last one.
Who played Anastasia?
RJ.
You're waiting for me, aren't you?
Away from him.
Slash.
That's right.
Nice.
It is Flash.
You won the game. What does he win?
A new car. No.
Guess what? On Stop, Drop, and Talk. Oh wait, we already did that.
Oh, sorry.
Eh.
Everyone's favorite game show where they win nothing. In fact, we win a chance to hang with you. So really, we're the winners here.
Yes, indeed.
There we go.
Yeah.
So I think before we let you go here, what is one last thing you want to say to everybody before you say goodbye to Stop, Drop, and Talk?
Ooh. Keep rocking.
Hey!
Yeah.
Nice words. Well, tell everybody where they can find you online, on TikTok, on Instagram, on everything, and where they can find your music and where they can find your upcoming EP that you're putting out.
Yeah, I don't know what the name is going to be under for like Apple Music, Spotify, and all that. But I mean, on social media, there's at Pete's Diary. I forget which socials have a dot or a dash, but it's Pete's
I
Diary.
think it's right there on the screen. Dan put it there.
Yeah.
So look at that.
It's diary.
Thank you, Dan.
And actually, even I found on TikTok, because I didn't have your TikTok handle, when I just typed in your first and last name and it pulled it right up with your correct handle. So there's another way to find you.
Well, if I could be really selfish, I'd love to do a collaboration with you someday, maybe on TikTok or something.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yes. I would love
Let's
to
see
do
it.
that with you.
I want to see that.
Stop, Drop,
Dan,
and
make
Talk,
that happen.
joining talent one episode at a time.
Eva will dance.
You will dance.
B-Rock will
Good.
hold a
Because
camera.
I'm not dancing. That's for damn.
Still,
We should make him dance.
he's really good at rhyming inappropriate words. I don't know. Maybe he could rap.
Technically, that's a talent.
Probably. Technically, it is.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining
thanks,
us here
Peter.
on
It
Stop,
was
Drop,
so
and
great.
Talk.
Yes.
It was
Thank
such a
you so
pleasure
much.
having you on.
Yeah,
Such a
thanks for
pleasure.
having me.
So amazing to meet you. Thank you for sharing your story and inspiring all of us. You're amazing. Keep up the great work.
Thanks again. Take care, guys.
Yes!
See you, Peter.
Peter Dankelson, everybody! Woo! Woo!
Amazing.
Hitting my
Holy
mic.
cow.
Yeah! I've
He's
never
loud
done
clapping his microphone. That was so amazing. And, yes, he is incredibly talented. Yes, he wrote that, amazing book telling the story of his life, which people don't understand all the hardships that that this young man went through, and it is mind blowing. But the biggest thing for me, I'm the mom of the group, so I take the whole like anti-bullying thing the most serious, and something that I will tell the listeners that I always tell my daughter every day, especially the first day of school. It's a ritual we have. If you see somebody that needs a friend, be a friend.
I love that. That is, those are really great. That's wow. Thank you, Eva.
Because you don't have any idea what somebody's going through, or you might not think somebody has it so bad, but you have no idea what their life is like. And had he not written this book or gone public with his story, not everybody would understand everything that he's been through.
I think considering, not even just in school, but us, adults that should have a way better sense of and empathy of other people's feelings can be just as atrocious to each other online and in general. So I think it's just a great message all around.
I really want to go kick those online bullies' asses that left those comments. Like that, my inner mama bear is like coming out.
You can't stoop to their level, but that's what I love about Peter is, he's a champion for these people. He's not afraid, which is amazing because I would be. He's not afraid to go out in front of people. He's playing music in front of people. He's talking in front of people, and it doesn't faze him. That's amazing. So I'm glad that he's a champion.
He does it the right way. He does it in a place of positivity and with a good heart and a place of love. And when he does expose people for the shitty things that they say, he has a really great way of doing it by saying like, hey, look, first of all, he covers up their names, which is, very respectful. That's and honorable. Also just proves all of them wrong by like, oh, really? Is that what really?
But he doesn't match. He doesn't match their nastiness with more nastiness. That's like the highest road, that you can take as somebody that is trolled online for something so silly, is that he basically is like, I'm bigger than this. Like, this doesn't matter. Like, it's so silly to me. And, he could, you could handle that so many different ways, and he handles it in the classiest, best way possible, I think. And he's only 19 years old. Like, I know that's incredible. Insane.
And he's so great at guitar, and he uses his music as therapy to get through those things. I think that is a very important thing for a lot of kids to keep in mind. In fact, my high note is kind of about that this week.
Ooh, let's get into it.
Let's hear it.
So, should we wrap this puppy up on a high note?
Let's do it.
Can I get a high note?
Oh, he's 21. I'm sorry, not 19.
21.
Oh, well, whatever, It wouldn't be Stop, Drop, and Talk if we did everything right.
Holy Cats Media.
Fired.
Don't worry, we'll just edit that out. No. Anyway, let's wrap this episode up on a high note. What do you say? Shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Wow, that's the wrong. I'm really good at hitting the wrong buttons. Aren't I? Let's end it on a high note. Here we go. There we go. And coincidentally, this week's high note is called Another Argument for Saving Arts in School. Music, painting, drama, free writing, poetry, all those things at the time when you were taking it in school, you thought, man, I'm never going to apply any of this in my life. Granted, not everybody wants to become an incredible musician like Peter or any musician or a painter or an actor or a poet. Yet we know learning all these things can help to develop motor skills, language skills, social skills, decision-making, risk-taking, and inventiveness. Also, I'm sure has a great benefit for combating the horrible feelings that you get from being bullied. It's just a great way to channel your feelings into something creative and constructive, but also something overlooked in the education system. Charisma. Look at Peter. Charisma can still help you in so many ways. And for anyone, when it comes to applying for a job or working your way up the ranks or making an impression on those who can help you jump into a great line of work, it's just another element for your arsenal of success in life. Obviously, the numbers don't lie, and they are the foundation of any business, but adding charisma to your quiver of skills can help to set you well ahead in life. And if we only have arts in the rich schools, teaching the rich kids of rich parents how to get in life and how to get ahead in life, that's a huge disadvantage to lower income communities and maybe a big factor in inequality for all we know. The upper class have all the advantages in life and the cycle continues. We don't want that. And that's my gripe with the business of learning. having to pay so much money to learn something in the hopes that you at least break even once you've paid off your student loan debt. No guarantees, though. Sorry. We've been having this conversation for a long time, and I don't have all the answers. Should college be free? Should it be cheap? Should we have student loan debt relief? I don't know what the best way forward is, but I do know that A, we need more critical thinkers in general, and B, we know psychology has proof, if not solid evidence, of the positive impact from creative arts in education for kids. There are so many things being thrown at the youth today, like we talked about, so many things that can lead to depression, anxiety, body dysmorphia, negative self-image, social media, a big part of it, also TV, movies, and the phones that have become extensions of ourselves. Nothing wrong with these things in and of themselves. They're great technological achievements, but it can lead to mental and social ailments if we're constantly oversaturated in this digital reality. We've all tried to use that screen time limit, that little message that pops up on your phone that says, hey, you've used 100% of your screen time for today. And then you say, fuck off, phone, I'm still going. We know that never works, but we also know when you focus your mind on something creative, like learning to play guitar, painting a picture, pouring words from your soul onto paper, getting your energy out on a drum set, writing a song. Not only does that give you a healthy dose of dopamine, which we've talked about a lot, but it also gives you sort of a digital cleanse. You get a break from your phone screen for a few hours, which your brain probably desperately needs. It's a great way to give yourself a sensible mental diet, just like cutting down on sugar, high fructose corn syrup, processed foods, GMOs, MSGs, and KFC. You'd feel like absolute dog balls if you ate that as often as you hang out on your phone. So it's good to cut back on social media, use it with caution because we all know that they're designed to function as a bear trap for your eyeballs. And having the hours fly by while honing a creative skill is the best way to do it, at least in my opinion. We've talked a lot on here about the power of being creative, and it's never, ever too late to start. But the younger you are, the quicker you pick up on new abilities. Look at Peter. So why not give this superpower to all the kids in school, every school in every tax bracket? Mental health, confidence, countless advantages, and maybe a huge step towards equality. Why wouldn't we make it a fundamental thing in education? I'm not the first, and I won't be the last to advocate for it. I just hope this perspective can only help add to the argument. And not only is she our in-house relationship guru, she's also our in-house mom. So I'd like to ask Eva what your opinion is on arts in school. I know that you're very passionate about it as well.
Yes. I think arts in school is super important because not a lot of kids okay, here's what I'm going to say. A lot of parents, it's like the Peter Pan syndrome. Like they grow up and they let a lot of those things go. Like a lot of the creativity, a lot of the, being able to play, all of that stuff is just like out the window gone, like, because there's too many adult responsibilities. So a lot of these kids have no outlets. Now, on the other side of those parents growing up, not every parent, but a lot of times the stress in those households kind of overflows onto these kids, and you don't know what home life is like. This might be their only outlet. Is arts in schools, whether it be, an art class or music or theater. It's a way for them to express themselves and for them to it's a form of therapy, really. I know it was really for me as a kid.
I totally agree. And it still remains today as a form of therapy. And like I said earlier, at any age, whoever you are, wherever you are, however old you are, it's never too late to start. So thank you for that little tidbit of motherly advice, Eva.
You never have to grow up.
You never have to grow up, and that's why I do what I do. Well, anyway, that's our show, and I want to thank Peter Dankelson, Eva Steele, B-Rock Dankatulo, and all of you Stop, Drop, and Talkers out there. Please like, subscribe, and tune in to your favorite work of online entertainment arts. You know it. Stop, Drop, and Talk. Stay in school.
See you later.
Stop, Drop, and Talk. team. I blow the wind of God
The wind of God
on you.